Okay, so we're going to create a very brief video on how to use or how to create truth tables. So if I think about a truth table in general, right? So the first thing is we need to understand, well, what is a truth table actually doing, right? So the truth table just shows us all of the available possibilities for a bunch of inputs in a particular circuit. All right, so we know that it's linked to some kind of logic circuit. So if we were to take a very simple example of an input symbol A and an input symbol B, and if we were to send these into a very simple gate, an AND gate, the resultant we get is A and B. Then we're just writing the gate inside here. So we should know by now that these two guys here, A and B, these are inputs. Right, so these are signals which can be either on or off. Right, so these signals here are simply going into this particular logic gate, which is the AND gate, and then this represents here is the output of the gate. Okay, and we can build up complex circuits from this particular I suppose idea, yeah? But the truth table itself, what it does is it takes our logic circuit and it shows us how this circuit actually works. So if I was to look at actually drawing out this truth table, so if I was to say I would have A and B as my inputs, and the truth table should show us all the possible values for A and B, right? So A can either be true or false, B can either be true or false. We have two inputs, so we say two inputs. This gives us, with two options, 2 to the power of 2 rows. So A can be true, true, false, false, true, false, true, and false. Now we draw this down, now we can say we have the resultant, which is AB. So true and true is true. True and false is false. False and true is false. False and false is false. So essentially what we're doing here is we're just looking at all the possible combinations that A and B can be. And the truth table shows us the resultant column. So this particular column here, yeah, is actually what we would refer to as the resultant column. Okay, or this is the output. And effectively what we're saying here is when we actually look at this and we can consider that, let's say A is one particular input here. So we can see that these are all of the possible inputs for A. These are all of the possible inputs for B. So when we have A is true and we have B is true, well then how this particular logic gate actually operates, well, true and true gives us a true, so there's a positive value coming out here. So the truth table, in essence, essentially just shows us how to construct all possible values, considering all of the possible inputs going into a particular circuit. Now we have a very small circuit here, right? So we can obviously have a much larger construction and a larger circuit. Okay, now if we understand that, yeah, we should be able to say, well, that's great. So now that we understand it, we draw a little happy face. Okay.